was just a few weeks ago. Grant Sherfield, part of the big Nevada sweep of Boise State, with the game winner on February 5th.
It's been tough. They had to shut things down, obviously, because of COVID. And coming back, and you're playing against a tremendous defensive team. And this is what they did to him the other night, forcing him to his left hand and really loading up on the roll man. And he just didn't look comfortable the entire game, and that's continued. Now, for perspective, here's how good Grant Sherfield is. Thank you, 8 fouls, 13 points.
Very talented fans.
Grant, we already got somebody for stats, but that's okay. Grant Sherfield's second in the league in scoring, leads the league in assists, leads the league in assist to turnover ratio. So there's your perspective on how good he's been all season long. He's got 3 points, hasn't made a field goal, has 6 turnovers so far in 18 minutes in the first half.
Great to see the fans here at the Spectrum. And I did a lot of games here when Stu Morrill was here, and they were a terror in the WAC. And now in the Mountain West, this place, when it's loud and full, is just as tough as the Pit in Albuquerque. And if anything, they're sitting closer here. Get fans back everywhere, and of course, New Mexico fans would love to get back in the Pit. They didn't get to have a home game at all this year. Bob Akamian, Doug Gottlieb, Logan, Utah at the Spectrum with 1,600 of our closest friends. And the home team, Utah State, hustling in their final home game scheduled of the regular season. They'll play here again Thursday night against Wyoming in a makeup game, which you will see on FS1. And Doug Gottlieb will be here for that. Are you just standing?
No.
You gonna go home?
No, I actually had 1 day at home yesterday.
Wow.
After 3 days, I didn't
There are a whole bunch of extra games on the schedule next week. We'll show you what's coming up. Brock Miller has not made a shot.
Right, now they're up 16, and Brock Miller hasn't been able to break through with these open threes.
0 for 6, 5 of those from 3. They haven't needed it.
You'd like to say if you're Grant Sherfield, hey, just let everybody else get a touch.
So here are the extra games that are not on your pocket schedule.
The games to understand that are of most importance. Colorado State cannot lose to Nevada. That's on Friday. Right, they have to win the game. Utah State, when they get Wyoming here and at Fresno State, can't lose those games. Boise cannot lose to Fresno. You saw Fresno going to UNLV and get a couple wins. Vegas.
Of course, San Diego State does not want to have to go to UNLV, but they're going. We're not happy about that. And you said this the other night, and I agree. Utah State needs to win these last 4. Needs to get to the conference semis. That probably gets you in.
I agree with myself. And I thank you for listening.
Pay attention. Data.
Well, we were just discussing John Hollinger, who writes for The Athletic, talking about of the undervalued prospects in college basketball. Remy Cada may be the most undervalued, or least discussed quality NBA prospect.
Well, and people talk about him as not being strong enough. But the things he's already doing, you know, he can score from different places away from the ball, and then defensively, you know, he plays straight up and down. He doesn't commit fouls, doesn't overreach with his arms. And you know, the question is he coming out or coming back?
Foster's really good with that jump stop. Use of the pivot.
8 now for Foster. But then it needs somebody else because Cambridge hasn't been able to do enough. Coleman's got 9. Foster now with 8. Cada very deep.
Well, this is one of the things that Daniel Foster has in the bag. The Aussie, the ability to jump stop, use his pivot, use the off arm, did away from Bean. Originally from Melbourne, Australia. Did I get to Melbourne okay?
Melbourne. Athletic 6'6". Played footy, too. Pretty athletic. Aussie rules football. No pads.
Pass. No thanks.
You got quicks.
I don't like, I mean, being tackled without pads? No thanks. Nope.
Remember when that was on ESPN at the very beginning of ESPN?
Oh, yeah.
It was on every night, it seemed. With the vision, there's Trey.
That's where he's really good. Got to his right hand, split the defense, created for the teammate. That's his 6th assist, just below his average.
4 3-pointers now for Coleman. All right, well, there's the guy, maybe. Miller, still no. There's another open three. Back to back. There's Cambridge. And Craig Smith says, nay, nay. We're going to stop this right now. Nevada getting other people involved. They close the gap early in the second half.
Back in Logan, Utah, as the Nevada Wolfpack have cut into the sizable lead of the Utah State Aggies. Bob, here's how they're doing it. Grant Sherfield is a spread ball screen 101. As you have one cutter and one man in the corner, and you get Grant Sherfield to his strong right hand and he creates. But sometimes you don't even have to create. Just let your teammates play, let the defense set. The very next time down the court, they lose Desmond Cambridge, an easy assist. One of the things that young point guards learn is singles and doubles, right? You don't have to swing for the fences. The fancy assist, that only counts as one assist, whereas just passing to a guy who steps into a chip shot counts the exact same. And I think Sherfield has started to get some balance and started just play and find his teammates.
Well, speaking of three-pointers, this never gets old if you're an Aggie fan. Sam Merrill, game-winning shot against San Diego State in the Mountain West Final last year. And you know what? The Bucks just brought him back from the G League.
I mean, Sam Merrill, what a great story. Grew up watching games here.
Yeah.
Right? He said, I want to play there someday. And he brought this program back to prominence. Along with NCAAB. There's Craig Smith, the head coach, as you pointed out, got a contract extension. All right, now you're Grant Sherfield. And just play. Don't worry about points. Craig Smith, get back into, all right, we really want Marco Anthony on Grant Sherfield. Marco Anthony has just been fantastic defensively.
Utah State just 1 of 4 from the field in the second half.
Now, the reason that Nevada's pressing is not just to speed this game up, is they're going to get a dunk.
Uh-oh. Well, that didn't go well. Anthony stuffs it. It's not what you want out of a timeout. About to come back at the other end. Washington puts it up and in. Again, Keita didn't waste the foul. He was beaten. You know, it is amazing that Keita is not called for more fouls, simply because in a league like this, you're guilty of being big. Washington again low against Keita. 2 in a row for Warren Washington, former Oregon State Beaver.
They always say with a shot blocker, the best way is to go right at it. When you give them space, that's when they can really block shots.
And you see Keita just held back both times. Now Keita versus Washington offensive end. There's some help from Coleman. Very nice. Bean. Keita from the top. In and out, but there's Anthony. Works his way around and scored. You see with the little reach, created some space for himself.
More than anything, when your point guard can rebound for you, doesn't help your defensive transition, but it doesn't matter for Utah State. Marco Anthony locking up on defense and on offense, hitting the boards. And one. Aggies up 13. Back in Logan, Utah, as the Aggies have opened back up their lead. And let's take a look at a quick layup that the Aggies got out of a set play. And Bob, there's 2 things that fans want to know, right? Fans want to know, oh man, how'd that work, right? Little back screen from Brock Miller for the layup. And coaches want to know whose fault is it on defense. All right, so here's how it works. The pass and then Marco Anthony getting back, that's window dressing, right? But freeze it right there. There's Brock Miller setting the back screen. Grant Sherfield's guarding Brock Miller. Why is he not helping? Because Brock Miller's a great shooter, so he's a no-help off. But when your man sets a back screen, you have to bump that cut. If you don't, that's what happens. Warren Washington was paying attention to the handoff. He can't be in help. Instead, Grant Sherfield misses the bump, hugs up on the shooter, and when shooters become screeners, you get layups. Is that too much?
No, it's beautiful. Beautiful. And Bean made him pay. Split the difference.
It's the way Utah State does what they do is really special. It's an incredibly well-coached team in that they get into their actions really quickly. And oftentimes, they just play 4 out, 1 in, throwing in an MBK to throw in play off of him. And then when they need a bucket, they run a quick set play and usually get a wide open look.
That's Doug Gottlieb. I am Bob Akamian. We're at the Spectrum in Logan, Utah. Final scheduled night of the Mountain West Conference season. More games to come next week. More to come on FS1. Utah State trying to run the table the rest of the way. That and a win in the tournament maybe gets them in the big dance. Of course, they just have won the tournament the last 2 years. I don't think Craig Smith would be opposed to that. And this is a team with their depth that is built to win a conference tournament. I think them along with Boise State. That San Diego State's big 3 are all healthy and playing well. Great getting Mitchell back.
Back to 12. Yeah, Matt Mitchell getting back. Of course, tweaked his knee when they were playing here up in Logan. Lost both those games.
Sherfield wanted the TO.
I think he was right. Grant Sherfield said that's off him. Maybe we have another look at it. Maybe we don't. Shulga, the Ukrainian, goes and gets the ball. 3 points from Kiev. Do you know what the delicacy in Kiev is?
You're going to tell me.
It's called salo.
Okay.
Salo.
What is it?
It's actually like pig fat, like bacon, raw.
Oh.
Not kidding. Very thinly sliced with gorchitsa, with mustard. It's fantastic.
It's like lardo.
What's that?
That's the Italian. Yeah.
Okay. They're such a good rebounding team.
Rebounding. Utah State all over the O boards. +8 overall in the game on the boards. Get that one, though. Some open court for Cambridge. And he pulls it back. Foster. But they give it up. Himes.
The illegal
unnecessary.
Screen. KJ Himes. Yeah. Well, that's actually Daniel Foster's fault. He's saying, Himes said, you got to wait. You got to your screen. Otherwise, you leave the big man. Ball screen look.
Possible. Goes after it.
Watch Justin Bean. I mean, just have fun guarding him, right? You don't really want attention to him as a shooter, but when you're not watching, here he comes from all the moon.
Gets to the line.
I'll show you the wide, Bob. This is called running to a rebound. And the reason when you play 4-out basketball, red court basketball, think about how hard it is to box this guy out. Here he's from the point line. He's got a running start. Desmond Cambridge, he's there. That's not his guy. It's Marco Anthony. And Daniel trying to help out. He's just looking at the basketball. So much of it has changed. Red game, getting guys outside. He opened up off rebound.
Cambridge. Had to keep poking away, but he's not been able to sustain anything in the second half.
Same issue. Now, trying to defend drive comes Nemi Keita. Run, rebound.
Like I said, it's not the big guys camped underneath.
Right. Again, in the old, you wait for the big guy to come down, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things you find is that actually when you have somebody who plays in the post, it can hurt your offensive rebounding numbers because the guy who's out is standing in between you and the bucket.
So is this another reason where K is built to succeed?
Question. Well, his ability to run the court, he has great hands, and continues to improve offensively.
We talked about him almost entering the double-double. He's got one tonight. Ashworth. Deep. Look at Bean again working. That'll be on Bean that time, but he beat Coleman. So same thing, coming from afar.
Ashworth is driving in. That's not a great shot. And Justin Bean, he is indefatigable. The Energizer Bunny. Nevada's trying to go with 2 posts, probably trying to help the rebounding. And Warren Washington didn't even look at the basket. KJ Himes is like, Warren, you're wide open. You're worried about going high-low. Shoot the ball.
Exactly what Himes is saying right now.
Dude, your guy's not guarding you. The coach called high-low. Coach called high-low, but you're wide open.
Sugar out of the game to some applause. Utah State has it back. Turnovers not in favor of the guard-heavy Nevada Wolfpack.
There's that same little play.
Ashworth drives again. That's how he enters. Bean. Every time with Utah State. Ball movement, ball movement. Tight quarters there, and this time they pay the price. Sheffield pull up 3 off transition. Who gets it? Utah State. Well, Sherfield trying to change the dynamic there. Could have done something else. Felt the 3.
They probably could have gotten Trey Coleman for the layup, but Sherfield gets a wide open 3 and misses it. Grant Sherfield just frustrated over not getting a call.
Other end, Bean back to the line.
Well, they're big enough en masse to rebound with you, but small enough to make you look slow when you're playing big. Utah State attacking the glass with ferocity. Aggies up a gaggle.
That's not quite cruising the gut, but this is what it's like. Downtown Logan, Utah. Hey, running that light.
Yellow means go. Yellow means go.
Yellow means go faster. Hey, millions of kids nationwide are without their normal access to sports and play due to COVID-19. And that is why Fox Sports and Good Sports are restoring play for kids and the programs that serve them through donations of brand new sports equipment. Text PLAY to the number on your screen to help keep kids in the game.
The little phone nanny. I love that one. We got the phone nanny there from Mons Anderson's family. Have a little kid watching the phone, maybe some bubble guppies on it. This is a great sports area for sportsmen and athletes alike.
Know it. It's funny, you come here and do football in October, there's nobody at the game, they're all up in the mountains.
See, this is the beauty of coming to this.
There you go.
Yeah, using up that data. Attaboy.
So I'm guessing,
Kid, though,
I'm guessing with all of Anderson's people there, you cannot buy a number 10 jersey at the Aggie bookstore this week. Here's Justin Bean of the line, where he's perfect tonight and continues perfection. 2 games in a row. He's carried a big load. But that, I mean, again, that's what tournament success is. You can't rely on a guy or the same look.
Well, when he scores, though, it's icing on the cake. It helps you. It's all the little things that Justin Bean does that allows them to win basketball games.
And again, by the way, Keita has the double-double. Quiet but deadly. There he is on defense. And Washington able to draw the foul. Keita with 18, Bean 12, Anthony 8, Anderson 8.
We mentioned the layoff for the Wolfpack. I thought Warren Washington was the one guy. Now, look, most teams in this league play at altitude. It's about 4,700 feet on the campus here.
Reno's 35.
Yeah. But, I mean, Warren Washington was, part of it is Nemi Keita was running him and he's bodying him to death. But he looked just completely out of gas the other night. And usually when you play in altitude, the second game is where it really gets you, right? but he's looked like in much better condition today.
Went 18 days without a game. And this was coming up, you know, I mean, talk about the adrenaline flowing after the Boise sweep. The worst thing in the world not to play. Bean left open. You will regret that. That's his first 3 of the night.
That's Bean's 6th double-double of the year, 23rd of his career, 2nd straight double-double. His high school coach is never going to get to leave Logan, neither his family.
Right. They're going to be an FS1 every night. Worcester back in the transition. Again, the ball keeps moving. Ashworth, Anthony, back to Ashworth. Bean had a touch. It's like hockey, you can't call all the touches.
Doc Emmerich right there. Nice pass from Ashworth.
And there's the finish. White. Oh, but Bean for the follow. Everyone plays a role.
A former recruited walk-on his mission in Reno at the University of Nevada. They had to beg him and say, hey, why don't you just, you know, and the guy who set up his mission was trying to convince him, hey, Nevada, you should go there. His dad was trying to convince Nevada to give him a scholarship. And this guy has earned every minute that he has gotten and starting to make shots. This is what he's always done.
19 and 10 on Friday, 17 and 11 on Sunday. And it's a 23-point lead for the home team.
Man, imagine him at the Mormon church for the next 20 years. I don't want to guard. Who wants to guard Brother Bean? I don't want to guard Brother Bean. Brother Bean plays way too hard. Way too hard for everybody.
He'll still be going horizontal on the wood, out of bounds after that ball.
Diving on the floor. Brother Bean, it's 5 in the morning, and we're just all trying to get a cardio in.
Come on, who wants to go suicides? Deerfield finding the open man. Foster drives. Daniel Foster's had a night. He's in double figures.
He's a good player. Continue working the consistency of his jump shot. But man, is he good off the Sherfield's penetration.
You know, this is a heavy freshman sophomore team. A lot of future for Steve Alford with this group. Anthony and one. Marco Anthony continues to do it all as well tonight.
Well, there's 2 things that are special here. Okay, one, it's Emi Keita and his ability to find his teammate. And 2, watch the cut from Marco Anthony. Just cuts. He's wide open. What happens so many times with young players, and even when I was an older player, a guy helps off of you, and you think, okay, well, that means I'm open for a jump shot. But if you're not a great jump shooter, be a great cutter. Because either you're going to get it or somebody's going to help off you, which opens up. And Marco Anthony's a tremendous cutter.
Keita defends once. It's turnaround by Hines, but it doesn't go.
Of course, we got the rebound by Justin Bean.
And the officials agree. It's 12 rebounds now for Bean, 11 for Keita. If you're on the rebound tracker for the Aggies.
And you almost feel for Steve Alford because, well, why don't you press? Well, we tried to press once.
And look what happened.
Dunk.
Yeah.
And by the way, we have to score in order to press, and they don't really have a pressing team.
No.
Could you go a little zone? You probably could. Look at the job that Raleigh Worcester's doing. Now they're doing on Desmond Cambridge. He's got Ashworth on him. Mouse in the house.
Ashworth letting him know.
Don't let the good hair fool you. These Aggies are pretty tough cats, but I saw a little Ashworth and Desmond Cambridge's eyes lit up. Good time to give a foul. Let's switch back, fellas.
I think if you're Nevada, you just got to work on your own. You got to figure out how to score.
Well, when everything you have is built upon Grant Sherfield's ability to create for himself and others, it makes it really hard.
Worcester in deep to Keita.
They really miss Zane Meeks as well.
Keita on the perimeter.
Another offensive board.
And he'll get another chance off another Bean rebound. Transition, foul, that's Worcester.
It's interesting because the way that Utah State plays is not really traditional in that you shouldn't really send 4 or 5 to the glass. And they work so well together where, you know, Bean's always going to the glass, but Worcester is he's a point, he can play some 2. That's sending 4 to the glass. That should allow you to get out and run, but they actually do a good job of building back in transition defensively.
Worcester's out now with his 3rd foul. Shulga came back in.
He didn't feel like he was sharp. He did hit the 1-3, and they're just trying to slowly work him back after that lower leg injury. Now, this is a bad call. This is very good defense. KJ Himes was like, I took the ball from him. And they just did a little cross screen to him. All right, throw it to the big guy. I don't know, how's that a foul?
Said I'm doing my job.
Well, Desmond Cambridge was there to, you know, make him go back to the big guy.
Keita now 7 of 8 at the line.
The offensive rebounding is just, it's like out of hand, right? 14-1.
Gee.
Utah State's Nevada. And part of it was Nevada's playing smaller. Nemi Keita, 20 and 11.
He remains 24 as we approach the 8-minute mark. Field finally gets a break.
2 in a row.
He got a good look, and I thought, oh, that pops out on him. That's just not fair. Well, they're letting Sherfield have these shots now. Ainsworth for 3. Keita flying for the rebound and the follow. Rebound number 12. Point number 22. Utah State taking care of business. They need to run the table. They're about to go 2 for 2 in their weekend series with the Pack.
You got to box out Justin Bean. Box out Justin Bean. Box out. All right, well, just let him celebrate.
Night has fallen in Logan, Utah. Look across campus to Old Main. Original building. Big Aggie A on the roof. Justin Bean putting on a show, 2nd game in a row.
Justin Bean is a guy who, it's interesting, you ask guys on the staff, they're like, no, he can shoot. He can shoot. He just hasn't shot him well in games. And
now, did this guy come with that on his chest?
That's a rare birth.
Or was that
it's a birth.
Did he apply that dirt? Because what if he brought that and Bean didn't have a good night? Then you got to cover it up with the shirt all night.
I love Bean. It's my guy. I think the Hawaiian shirt really makes it, to be totally honest with you.
And some color to the neutrals, you know. He knows. You got the style.
I mean, this is a kid who's been through it all, right? Tore his ACL, non-recruited out of high school. Warm mission, walk on here, and redshirt his first year. But symbolic of what they've been able to build. Yes, you had Sam Merrill, an all-time great. You have Nemi Keita, who's an NBA prospect as well. So you have 2 NBA caliber players. But it's the guys you win with, the guys that do all the dirty work. And they're hard to do. We play small against them. That's what Nevada's done. We play small. Well, we get our backside kicked on the boards, right? If we play big, he's so quick and athletic, and so too is Marco Anthony. that they make you look like they're playing small.
See, and Boise can do that both ways.
Yes.
You leave Armouche in, who's played better and better as the season's gone on, but he gets in foul trouble. So this is Bean's best back-to-back of the year. He had 21 early. That was against College of Idaho, and then he followed that up with 12 against Northern Colorado. These two games a little more impressive in conference play. Lob not quite there for Keita. Three. No second chance. Rebounding dominance continues for Utah State. Anderson back in. Getting some love on senior night. Little off balance. Late whistle. He gets to the line.
So normally when you come here to D. Glen Spectrum Event Center, you see Nemi Keita, they have like it's like a blow up, I don't know, it's not just the head but the arms, and it covers the entire end zone section of the Utah State fan base, right? Like almost side to side, and it embodies what it must be like to try and play against this guy, because like you pointed out, he doesn't really foul.
He just takes all that
and he has great timing. Great timing. And he uses his lower body and crowds you, but not so much so that he gets called for those fouls. He rebounds as well. Super athletic, can switch onto guards. I mean, he's such a weapon at the defensive end.
Anderson connects at the line. Perfect there. He's in double figures with 10, so 4 Aggies now in double figures. Cambridge with the miss. Washington can't get the rebound. Worcester up with it. And the ball ends up in Keita's hands in a crowd. Shoga gives it up. He got a little too deep.
He's got to shoot the ball.
Foster all the way. Somebody's open on the corner. It's Trey. We're talking about what you have to do in the regular season. What was that? Was that
somebody, a manager?
On the bench?
No, yeah. It's a T on the bench.
But he pointed way down at somebody sitting in the corner. Cambridge shooting the free throws. There's our offender.
Now he's actually he's a senior manager
he was honored before the game,
right?
Yes.
And you can't hide when you're going to wear those shoes. You can't.
I think Craig is smiling under the mask.
I mean, look. Usually you start. Look at it. Usually you start your seniors, right? So that they get recognized. Ryan Corbett is his name. He's senior manager. And even though he didn't get to start or to suit up here on senior night,
he got on the show. He got on the show. Look. Now he's up clapping. And
Tony Padilla had it.
We talked about how great the crowds are at needling the visiting team. He showed us his smile there for a second.
Right. I talked to Ryan before the game as he's finishing up his undergraduate degree in business administration. He'll be working on his MBA. It's his third year working with the Utah State basketball team. He wanted me to make sure and point it out. Before he worked with the team, they did not win a conference tournament championship. He starts working with the team. They've won two straight conference tournament championships. You make the correlation. Okay? And he is the only student manager to receive a technical foul in the Mountain West this year. All these things, that's Ryan Corbett.
This crowd is notorious for needling visiting coaches and players and referees. In fact, even tonight, during warm-ups, there was somebody up here on the end taunting Washington, yelling something at him. And, of course, without the full house, you can really hear the individual voice.
I'm sure Steve Alford saying, like, look, you shot 27 free throws, we shot 13.
Hello.
What are you complaining about?
I can remember coming in here with a Nevada team, Mark Fox, about 10 years ago, and Mark was absolutely rattled by those students. And that was, you know, Armand Hatcher and Luke Babbitt. That was a pretty good Nevada team, and they just died here that night. And the crowd had a lot to do with it. And Mark Fox kind of forgot about the game and was worried about what they were saying to him. Washington strength.
Washington. Warren's a guy who has a bright future. Barely played for 2 years, and he got hurt his senior year in high school. So you're like 3 years really not playing basketball. Played very little at Oregon State, although did beat USC.
And he did get to play as a freshman, though. I mean, Wayne Tinkle got him some minutes.
My brother recruited him to Oregon State. Comes from an absolutely outstanding family. He's a guy who playing center, although more of a natural power forward. That one made his trip and fired him up. But he's a guy who he has a very, very high ceiling.
Lister. Oh, they like that combo. It's a little wheeling and dealing for the freshman guard. Starting to feel a little better coming back from that injury. Milling off the bench, knocks down the three.
This is when you're not a pressing team and you try and press and you don't have great pressing personnel. That's what it looks like.
Worcester tries the three himself, gets the rebound, finds Anderson, he's on the line. And with that, we'll step aside, but another highlight for Nemi Keita.
Yeah, pressing Utah State, probably not a great idea. Charlie Worcester to Nemi Keita. Finishing strong.
Coming up next, a celebration of professional volleyball in the United States and a celebration of Black History Month, recognizing the contributions of African Americans to volleyball and America. Join us for Athletes Unlimited, volleyball from Dallas.
Thanks, guys. Hey, it's not football season, but that is Romney Stadium in the background. Utah State just made a really good football coaching hire, too. Got Blake Anderson as the new head man. They like this guy they have on the basketball floor.
Nemi Keita does it at both ends. The defense has always been there. The offense continues to come along, and his teammates love, absolutely love finding him.
26 points, 13 rebounds, 8 of 9 of the line. He's got 5 assists, too.
It's Maverick Stadium now is the name.
That's right. They got the
Maverick
sponsor.
is the name, yeah, the sponsor.
Because if you want to get snacks and gas in Utah, you go to Maverick. I'm dating myself with Romney. Tell you what, that stadium, they've remodeled it extensively over the last 10 years. Great place to watch a game. I remember when there wasn't an elevator. They didn't used to have an elevator to that press box. Talk about altitude.
Yeah.
All in gear up there. Oh.
Well, John Hartwell's done a nice job. The next big project everybody's talking about is what are they going to do to this building?
Yes.
Those colorful seats are, well, they're colorful.
I hope they don't move them further away.
No.
I just
think you do redo the seats.
Yeah.
Maybe put in some bleacher seating for students so they can stand. But this is a perfect venue. There's nothing wrong with the venue. Steve Alford's just one of those days, brother. One of those days. Sometimes you're the bug and sometimes you're the windshield.
Nevada has a game left next Friday against Colorado State, but Colorado State's got to play 3 games next week. maybe a good thing. Stephen Ashworth. Well, Colorado State theoretically plays their way in by running the table and then winning a game in the tournament.
I think the league should get 4 teams in. I think it's realistic to expect that they're definitely getting 2 and probably
3. Yeah. Colorado State's 45 in the net. Aggies are 50. That's why the Aggies have work to do.
What's hurt the league, and Warren Washington turns the basketball over.
Keita will get the send-off. 26, 13, and 6 in 33 minutes.
What's hurt the league is that, you know, Utah State played San Diego State twice, but only here. Right. You know, and if you could do it all over again and just have those 4 teams almost play a round robin against each other.
And home.
Right.
Yeah.
Those losses don't really hurt you. It's when Utah State loses to UNLV. That hurts you.
By the way, the other senior in tonight, Kuba Tarkovsky.
He just got his first bucket.
There we go. He's in the book. Out of Warsaw, Poland. Came through North Platte Community College. Oh, now it's showtime in the last 2 minutes. So Utah State will be 13-4, so they're still on just 4 losses. Still strong for one of those top 3 spots that gets the bye in the tournament. See, between San Diego State, Boise, Colorado State, Utah State, one of them won't get the bye.
It's interesting that Boise, of course, they got swept by San Diego State this week. Boise now in need of a win to feel better about themselves.
And they get to be home against Fresno State on Tuesday. Fresno State has to travel and then go home and play next Saturday.
Well, Big Kuba comes in. Even though he would have liked to do some rim hanging, look at that smile. You got to stick your hand up in the air. That was me. That's my bucket. So he checked in, got a bucket. Check him out. Let's get everybody in. Empty the benches.
That is Carvasi's first points of the year.
Now remember, these guys don't have to leave. Right? Don't have to leave. Scholarships still hold value next year, even with, you'll be over the limit with incoming freshman class. You know, Utah State, much like Utah, BYU, there's always dudes coming off missions as well, so you have no idea what their incoming class is truly going to look like.
Matthew Wickheiser in, freshman, another local from Kearns. As Wooster comes out, see Anderson on the bench. Okay, if you're Coach Smith,
yes,
you kind of like you'd like it if Alfonso Anderson came back. You could use him.
Absolutely, but you have to have a guy that comes back and is accepting of whatever his role is going to be, right? But yeah, I mean,
that discussion is going to be happening all over the country.
Correct. This is you know we did last year. Now it's going to be different if you lose Nemi Keita to the draft.
He's had a nice couple of games.
Look at that smile of Matt Shulga.
Representing Ukraine. Nevada will be 9-7 in conference play. Let's see if they can do some damage in the tournament. Are they a team you don't want to play?
Absolutely not. I mean, I don't know how many teams have the type of defender that Marco Anthony is. We've seen him destroy Boise State and do similar things to other teams at the top of this conference.
Well, and if things stay the way they've been, you know what the 4-5 matchup will be? Boise State, Nevada. Dan Rice will be thinking about that. Kane Milling.
Maybe Kane Milling gets his confidence out of it, but an incredible 2 nights in 3 days performance for Utah State.
The Aggies take care of business, sweep the weekend, and they go to 13-4 in conference play. Keita, Bean, Anthony. Anthony Anderson all in double figures.
Everybody looks at box scores, but how about this? 17 offensive rebounds to 1 offensive rebound. A dominant performance on the boards, and they did a phenomenal job on Grant Sherfield, who came into the game second in the league in scoring, leading the league in assist-to-turnover ratio, and they made him look like a mess, look like a young player. A fabulous performance by Utah State.
And Utah State stays in one of those top 3 positions. Well, we've got more Utah State basketball coming up on FS1 next Thursday here against Wyoming, next Saturday at Fresno State as the race to postseason continues. Thanks to all of our great crew here in the Cache Valley. For Doug Gottlieb, I am Bob Akemi. Thanks for being with us. You've been watching Mountain West Conference basketball on FS1.